My name is Kendra Meyers. I'm a senior this year. I'm 21 years old. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I was born there, lived there my whole life. Here at Duke, I'm a double major in English and drama.
At a fairly young age, I wanted to be a playwright, because everybody else was being an actor, you know?
I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go to college, but I was never really worried about making that decision. And when I came down to see Duke, I guess two Septembers ago, I just fell in love with it. It looked like my idea of what a college was supposed to be like.
My background in theater kind of, I think, forced me to think of gender issues. I've got, you know, a mother who basically read Gloria Steinem to me in the crib.
I'm from Tokyo, Japan. I'm a sophomore here at Duke, and I am a drama major.
Really get in touch with that sense of fun.
And on the count of 3, please add sound to the movement. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We have to establish, for example, who's dominant? Who's dominant in this relationship? Who's the real boss?
Well, I think the strengths of the program are the students who are talented and bright and open, and the faculty who are professionals, who are committed to teaching.
The great thing about the faculty here is that they could be doing other things, but instead the faculty has chosen to come here and teach and to impart some of what they've learned in their experiences to the students here at Duke.
The faculty here makes themselves very available to you. I think that the faculty here really cares about the students, which is the most important thing. I mean, they invest themselves in you.
The professors are so approachable. You can say, let's go have coffee because I'm worried about this, or let's just go have coffee and talk about this.
The great thing about the faculty here is that they can make people proficient at what they do, if they have the desire to be so. But more importantly, they can shape talent so that it becomes refined and polished, professional.
I've had 2 plays and a musical produced here, and I've performed in, I guess, 4 or 5 plays since coming here. I think the acting helps the writing much more than the writing helps the acting. Finding out from an actor's perspective, you know, what works on stage or what doesn't work on stage, you know, it gives you a better idea of you know, what's going to work on stage. So you go and you can write situations that are more suitable, you know, which is, you know, a great thing about Duke, is that you get the opportunity to, you know, write and you act and you costume design, light design, direct, whatever you want to do.
Duke drama has to be considered in the context of Duke University. Probably the biggest advantage to coming to a school like Duke and being involved with drama, and it's so much better than being in a conservatory because, I mean, you're not locked in. And let's say you come here and you don't know this is the thing that you want to be doing. You know, maybe you don't know that you're an actor. You have to be acting. You could have tried other things, and the exposure to students that are doing other things, I think, is invaluable.
You live with people who are interested in much more different things. It's interesting, you know, it's exciting to see these other different perspectives.
One of the best things I've discovered about Duke is that you can walk around the campus And there's an atmosphere of people really wanting to learn. And this extends to the professors and the people you see every day. Everyone is here to learn. And that makes for the most fertile environment.
I talk not of your soul. Our compelled sins stand more for number than for account.
I'll say it.
But nay, I'll not warrant that, for I can speak against the thing I say.
Being a smart actor is the first step to being a good actor.
Wiser souls to thy false seeming.
And especially in my other major in public policy, a lot of the skills that you use are very similar. If I'm going to be sitting down and researching a new bill that's going to go through Congress, it's very similar to sitting down and preparing for a role, because I need to know who's involved, I need to know my personal involvement, and the way I'll pick apart the bill is the same way I'll pick apart a speech that my character gives. So the skills, I mean, you can use them pretty much for anything, and I think that's the great thing about drama, is that what you learn in that curriculum is very applicable to like real world situations.
His horn, 'tis not the devil's crest.
Professional productions, professional guests come to Duke on a regular basis. And the benefit of that is that they get a chance to see someone who is absolutely focused on creating something, generally of a very high level, in the professional theater. And that's a very different objective from going to a class where the focus is on the student. The focus in a professional production that comes to Duke is on the production. So a student in that environment gets a taste of what it's like when they get out of here, where they'll be hired to create a production.
Having people like Neil Simon, Manny Eisenberg come in is a wonderful opportunity to meet with practicing artists.
We get all sorts of people here. I never know where they come up with them. I mean, my class, Broadway Productions, taught by Manny Eisenberg, who produces all of Neil Simon's plays. So, yeah, it's the cream of the crop,
And what I learned from the guest faculty and also from the people that come through doing the pre-Broadway series and things like that, from working those shows and meeting those people, it's like, I really can do this for the rest of my life. And it makes you so happy.
I think a wonderful thing about Duke University is that a student who comes here who's interested in the theater has many options of how they might involve themselves in the theater. They might want to be a major and get involved in the academic courses and be in productions that are directed by faculty. They may be very interested in musical theater, and there's a musical theater group that is a student-run group, Hoof and Horn, that they could get involved in. They might be interested in producing, and they could get involved with some of the student groups like the Wendell Theater Group or Karamu, which are again student-initiated, student-run groups.
The opportunity that theater provides for students to explore dimensions of the human experience in ways that they can also do through literature or anthropology or history or music or painting or sculpture, but with a particular twist that the liveliness of theater brings, make it, to me, a very appropriate contributor to an academic life. As president, I find theater one of those aspects of the university which brings people together.
You can always create an opportunity to work on something. Like there's always actors and directors around who, if you want to do something outside of class, outside of rehearsal, I think you can get people who would be willing to work on it with you.
The student that would be most happy here is a student that is looking for an intellectually stimulating environment that is creative and supportive of imaginative activity.
Take advantage of everything here. Take advantage of the theater resources, the people here. Got great artists who are making themselves available to you. Great spaces. Take advantage of things besides theater, and then figure out what you want to do and then do it.
Now I know how to design the lights for a show. I know how to stage manage a show. I know how to run props. I'm not very good at costumes, but I could probably get by. And I also know how to speak verse in Shakespeare and how to create a character.
My love for the theater developed in the sense that I found out that theater was a very, very powerful thing, you know, as far as determining our perceptions of the world and our way we look at ourselves. And I began to, you're introduced to these great, great works of literature and these very talented people, and all those things, they begin to make you feel things, and strongly. And you realize that as far as communicating something goes, there's probably no better, avenue than the theater.
Stanislavski said that the person you are is 1,000 times more interesting than the best actor you could ever hope to be. And I think that's probably the most important thing I've learned, because if you're not honest with yourself and what you can do, how can you ever try to be a different character on stage and expect people to believe that if you can't believe yourself? And I think that's really driven home here, and I think that's probably the most important thing I've learned.